Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. Hey, what's going on, Ram fans? Got a Pregame Pulse video for you and podcast. Rams and Cardinals kicking off at SoFi Stadium here Saturday night. Has some final thoughts, updated injury reports, some predictions, and some other notes and comments on this game and the state of the NFC West. So it's not really as complicated as it seemed at first. The Rams need to beat the Cardinals, and then they need to win that strength of victory formula. And what is this strength of victory formula? How's it work? Well, after they beat the Cardinals, some combination of 4 wins by the opponents the Rams have uniquely defeated, or losses by the opponents the Seahawks have uniquely defeated. And what are those games? What are the games on the table this week that need to go the Rams' way for them to clinch, assuming they beat the Cardinals? I'm not taking that for granted, but I feel really good about the Rams' chances in this game. So Rams favored by 6.5. By the way, the over/under is 47.5. There are 6 games on the docket this weekend. One of them on Saturday. That the Rams need 4 of them to go their way. They need 4 of these results: the Bengals to beat the Broncos, the Bills to beat the Jets, Browns to beat the Dolphins, Vikings beat the Packers, Commanders beat the Falcons, and 49ers beat the Lions. So they need 4 of those to go their way. And to be quite frank, I feel like we're going to get 3 of them. I really do. I feel good about the Bengals, Bills, and Commanders. The other 3, the Browns and Dolphins, Vikings, Packers, kind of toss-ups. Browns, Dolphins, both teams, their season's over. So we'll see how that goes. Who knows? Vikings, Packers, kind of a coin flip game. And I do not think the 49ers will beat the Lions. But I guess we should be rooting for them. And so if we don't get 4 of these and we beat the Cardinals, that means that, there will be opportunities. I think there's 6 or 7 or 8 games next week that we need to pull for to go the Rams' way. And this is what I'm thinking, and my special assistant pointed this out, and I think he's onto something. If the Rams say they only get 3 of these after beating the Cardinals, I would not be surprised if the NFL scheduled the Seahawks-Rams game on Saturday before the other strength of victory games. The games that will impact the strength of victory are played, forcing the Rams to play it like it was a win and get in game, as opposed to seeing the results afterwards. And it's a difficult thing for the Rams mindset wise going into the weekend. And that's one of my fears. If they need 1 more game to go their way, and they're like, yeah, we're going to get 1 of those, but we need to play hard. We need to beat this team. And, if it turns out it doesn't go their way, and they know before the game it doesn't go their way, or maybe it's more at risk, they got to turn it on. But I'm not overly concerned about that. But it'd be great if 4 of these games went the Rams' way this weekend, and we could see a little bit of guys like Stetson Bennett and Jimmy G and Cody Schrader and Brennan Jackson all get some game time next week against Seattle. And there's a bunch of other guys we could maybe see get more offensive and defensive snaps. But so that's the picture here. We need 4 of these results. And I feel good about, I would suspect we'll get 3 at least, 4 maybe. So we'll have to see. And one game that's not on here is that originally maybe you thought should be is the Saints-Raiders. The problem with that is the Rams beat both of them, right? Let's get into the injury reports. Rams have been carrying a really clean report the last couple of weeks. Rob Havenstein showed up on this one this week, suffering some type of shoulder injury. I think that was Wednesday, might have been Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And so he is questionable. I would assume if he can't go, it'll be Joseph Noteboom. So a little bit of a bummer, but hey, as Ram fans, we can't complain. This team is extremely healthy. Now we got some guys on IR, obviously, John Johnson, Darion Kendrick, some other guys, but this 53-man roster is in really good shape. So I'd expect Noteboom to take over if he can't go. Warren McClendon will probably be active. That'd be my guess. And left tackle Alaric Jackson, he did not practice on Friday. That was due to rest, though. So Rams in really good health, and as opposed to the Cardinals, who are pretty banged up. Um, Kicker Matt Prater is out. He is replaced by Chad Ryland, and safety Joey Blount also out. Questionable, both running backs James Conner and his backup Trey Benson, the rookie out of Florida State. So Jared Verse and Braden Fisk's old teammates. And it sounds like Connor is trending towards playing, though. And, my thought on it is, being a little wishful thinking here from a Rams perspective, but a meaningless game. One of your star players is banged up. I don't know why he would push to play, but hey, he's a professional athlete, obviously extremely competitive, and he wants to go. And I have a feeling he will. The problem is the offensive line he'll be running behind. We'll get to that in a second. Linebackers Baron Browning and Mac Wilson also questionable, along with edge outside linebacker Darius Robinson, and offensive lineman Evan Brown also questionable. Now, missing from the injury report because they are placed on IR are their two starting tackles, Paris Johnson and Jonah Williams. So, this offensive line could be down three starters. And that is that a reason, that you want to get your running back, your star running back, your number one running back out there to make up for some deficiencies, or do you just set them down and let's play another day, another year in the Cardinals case? So Cardinals are pretty banged up. And hey, let's get into some predictions. My fearsome four predictions for this game. And, it didn't occur to me until the Rams and Jets were playing and the Jets were faced with some fourth downs, a team with nothing to play for really, except for pride. And they went for it, I think, was it 5 times? They went for it on fourth down 5 times. And we're going to be facing the same situation with the Cardinals. They will be going for it on fourth down a lot. And it's a double-edged sword. You can benefit from that immensely if you shut them down and flip the field on them, but it also puts a lot of stress on your defense. And I'd just rather they punted it, and I wish they'd play it like a regular game, but they're not going to. They'll be going for it on fourth down, and that's going to be a tough thing for our defense. But hey, it worked out pretty good for us against the Jets. But with Kyler Murray back there, that's a different story. He can convert third and fourth downs pretty well with his legs or extending plays and then tracking it to some of these a pretty good receiving core, actually. What's my second prediction? Fearsome for prediction number two, kind of related to that, I think Kyler Murray will have over 50 yards rushing. Actually, it could be 60, 70 yards rushing because of the situation with the offensive line, because of this fourth down scenario. Well, they'll be going for it, whereas in a typical game they would not. And hey, he's Kyler Murray. That's what he does. And he's going to get his yards on the ground, unfortunately. And the Rams have been better. I don't have the data on this, but I feel like they've been better at being more disciplined with their pass rush, hemming in quarterbacks a little bit better. And I think that hurts their sack numbers, perhaps. But that's okay in a game like this. Just hem him in. Don't let him take off running too much. He's going to have his moments. It seems like he's converted some third and 16s on us a few times with his legs. So we need to not let that happen. But he's going to get his yards rushing because of those two factors, the offensive line being banged up and this fourth down and go for it scenario, which is sure to happen. What's the over under on that? Well, we'll see. I don't think they're going to go for it, deep in their own end, but they get out to the 40, 45 yard line on their side of the field. Definitely they get on the Rams side. They're going for it. It's pretty much a done deal. We'll see a lot of that. Here's some for prediction number 3. Trey McBride will score a touchdown. He's their leading receiver, the tight end, very good tight end, super talented. 0 touchdowns on the year, though. And Kyler Murray even said publicly they're going to get Trey McBride a touchdown, which I don't know if that's a smart thing to say before a game. They get down in the red zone. There's going to be a lot of attention on him, especially if if the game's maybe decided and late in the game, Rams are up by 14. Wouldn't that be ideal? And they're just going to try to get the ball to McBride. And the Rams, will they try to deny that, knowing that it's coming? Maybe opens up something else. That's why maybe Murray just kind of keeps that to himself. But Kyler Murray is going to try to get Trey McBride a touchdown, and I'm guessing he will. I'm guessing he'll succeed. But, if the Rams are on to that, kind of like we saw what the 49ers did to Puka last year when he needed when he was trying to get the record, and it was kind of I didn't really like what they did. Fred Warner, actually from the same school as Puka, telling him they're going to double teaming him, trying to force a situation where Puka would have to play through the rest of the game to get the record. Just play it regular, in those situations. That's how I would do it. But hey, 49ers could do whatever they want, I suppose. So Trey McBride will get a touchdown. And for prediction number 4, the Rams will win by double digits. And, that's in line with my prediction the other day. Rams 30, Cardinals 17. I don't think it'll be even that close. Gosh, I hope not. I can't. Dealing with a close game with the prospects of having to come back and beat Seattle next week. Let's just get it over with. Let's put these guys away. And I think that's a key to this game for the Rams. They need to jump out, give the Cardinals no hope. Maybe they'll start, pulling guys, get James Conner off the field, maybe even get Kyler Murray off the field. And, just play this out, let the Rams roll into the playoffs with a week's rest. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Assuming the strength of victory issue, the strength of victory tiebreaker, we know that's going to go our way, or we at some point will be very comfortable that that's going to go our way. Man, too complicated for me. And hey, I'm going to throw out a sports pet peeve here for you that's related to this sort of I stumbled across a discussion, I think it was on X, 49er fans, or maybe it was a content creator saying, hey, you know what? We want? We want the Cardinals to beat the Rams, and we're okay with our team losing out, so we take last place in the division, and the Rams take first place. So I think going into next year, they'll probably be considered the 2 top teams in the division. 49ers are going to undergo a lot of changes, but they're still going to be a pretty darn good football team, right? They're going to be a really good team. They're going to lose some guys, maybe Deebo Samuel, Dre Greenlaw, guys like that, but they're going to come back and be a threat to win this division. But they could be a 4th place team. And what does that mean? Well, the NFC West is going to play the NFC South and the AFC South next year. That's a pretty good scenario, the 2 weakest divisions in football, right? And from a wild card perspective, the NFC West teams can rack up some wins. And so you could very easily see 2 teams from the NFC West in the playoffs next year, if not 3, right? But the problem is there's those 3 games that are unique to each team. The first place Rams playing the first place teams from 3 other divisions, and the 49ers would get last place teams from those 3 divisions. So the scenario could very well play out like this. The Rams are playing the Eagles, Ravens, and Lions. Let that sink in. The Eagles, Ravens, and Lions. And those are 3 teams that I don't think are going to drop off. I know that happens from year to year. I don't think it's going to happen with these teams. Definitely not the Ravens. They never drop off. And meanwhile, the 49ers would be playing the Giants, Browns, and Bears. hey, maybe the Giants bounce back, maybe have a coaching change there. They were a pretty good team just a couple years ago. Browns had a great defense, fell apart this year. They reworked Deshaun Watson's contract the other day. And so maybe they bounce back. And then the Bears, man, they just look so horrible. They got a lot of work to do, but hey, maybe Caleb Williams is the real deal. But still, it really creates a situation in this division where there's such a difference between the first and fourth place schedule. And to me, I don't see why it needs to be that way. I know they're trying to balance, give the bottom feeders a lift and make it a little tougher on the first place teams. But this could be a 3-win swing in this division, easily be a 2-win swing with the 49ers. A fourth place team, a last place team. Are they your typical last place team? Absolutely not. We've been hearing for several years they have the best roster in the league, one of the best. Things fell apart on them injury wise, and they could be the beneficiaries of this fourth place schedule, getting the Giants, Browns, and Bears while the Rams are playing the Eagles, Ravens, and Lions. So I think the NFL maybe needs to get away from that, especially if they go to another game, which they probably do the same thing. I don't know why it can't be random. Just randomize it, the teams you play from these other 3 divisions, and if it goes to 4 divisions, same thing. It just makes a lot more sense to me. You want it to be fair and square, even Steven as much as possible. You give a little boost to these fourth place teams somehow. They already draft earlier. Now you're kind of gifting them 1 or 2 wins over a divisional rival because, like I say, teams fall off, teams jump up from year to year, but I don't see this happening in this case. The Eagles, Ravens, and Lions dropping off significantly, or the Giants, Browns, and Bears jumping up significantly. But hey, it happens. Who knows? But bottom line is really unfair scheduling system that they use here. But when all said and done, hey, I'm happy with the 49ers having the last place schedule. We'll take the first place schedule. We'll worry about that stuff next year. If the Rams get to the playoffs and make a little playoff run, it'll all be worth it. We'll worry about that in 2025. One thing of note that we'll get the Lions at home. So that'll be kind of nice. See Jared Goff versus Matthew Stafford one more time at SoFi. Still possible. It could happen in the playoffs this year. Unlikely, but possible. So that's my pregame pulse. Rams Cardinals here in a bit. Hopefully we'll lock this down or be just 1, possibly 2 games away, and that strength of victory formula from locking it down. Out here from Rams Up. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.